Pamela Geller, you have failed. The Americans as a whole, Muslim or non-Muslim, have disowned you. The Americans have refused to fall in your trap.
Pam Geller. In 2010, she led a march to the site of a proposed Islamic center near the site of the World Trade Center. She thinks Muslim refugees are a UN plot to take over America. She thinks Obama wants to implement Sharia law. She wants to ban Muslim pilots. She thinks Prince Charles could be a secret Muslim, of course. And she opposed a resolution condemning ethnic cleansing of Muslims in Burma. So we're dealing with a dumb person here, and a hypocrite because she opposes the religious freedom to build a mosque, but cries religious freedom to draw Muhammad. So don't get me wrong, these are really bad people at this event. Make no mistake about it. The whole purpose was to be assholes. No question about it. They're deep right-wing kooks who were at this event.
And it seems like a lot of people get it. Pam Geller is a crazy lady. I mean, she's talked about Obama being the love child of Malcolm X, and her mother, and that he's, the secret Muslim here to destroy America, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's just, so.
Anybody who's done any research on Pamela Geller or even turned on the news and heard some of the headlines regarding her, I think any rational-minded person would realize that this is an individual who's very disturbed.
Pamela Geller, who is a well-known hate monger and Islamophobe here in the United States, who has led initiatives such as the protests against the mosque at World Trade Center and various other incendiary actions. And Pam Geller's organization and Pam Geller's personality in the blogosphere and known internationally is sort of a known quantity. She is someone who trades in hate speech.
There are more than 318.9 million Americans, and you tried to convince them that drawing Muhammad exhibition was about freedom, and tempted them with $10,000 award. But according to your own word, roughly 300 showed up.
Roughly 300 people there.
You're either with us or you're against us.
Americans have recognized your trap. It was not about freedom of speech, because such exhibitions doesn't show or prove that there is freedom of speech, but what it really shows or proves is that there is racism and bigotry.
Pam Geller has a long record of anti-Muslim bigotry. She once supported advising the UK to bring its military home, quote, to patrol their own streets and begin to remove Muslims.
You're right. I don't want to.
She didn't say that.
Pam, listen. I don't want to play a semantics game with you, but I do think that your critics have a point when they say that you paint with a broad brushstroke, and it sounds like you're anti-Islam.
No,
when you embolden people, when you empower people, the haters, you're going to get violence. And so why would anybody who's morally responsible want to intentionally incite other people? We live in a sick society that some people think it's good to taunt other people.
I watched Pam prior, and it looks like she's just taunting everybody. What is she doing with drawing Muhammad? And it looks like she's actually taunting people. And it's disgusting that it happened and everything else. But why are they doing drawing Muhammad? Isn't there something else they could draw?
What do you say?
Well, it's Mr. Donahue who's emboldening them by giving them the sanction of the victim. And as far as Mr. Trump goes, he sure flaps his tongue and uses free speech and wishes to silence others. There's a war going on. I mean, what would he have said about Rosa Parks? Rosa Parks should never have gone to the front of the bus. She's taunting people.
No.
Yes.
How do you make the Rosa Parks comparison? They're saying that if you want to make a difference, you don't do it. You do it in a. Bill Donahue's saying in a Christian way. You don't do it in a crass, crude way by insulting someone's religion. You do it by rising above that and saying, we are not like you. We will not attack your religion. We're not like you.
And most Americans will feel more proud of America if there would be no racism or bigotry. One doesn't have to punch someone to hurt. One N-word is more than sufficient. The Civil War was fought to free this nation of racism and bigotry and establish equality. If there is one place in the world where there is freedom of speech, it is USA.
Pam Geller and her organization connected to various shady characters, from used car dealer criminals in New York to various individuals associated with the Israel lobby. Pam Geller is a very shady character, someone whose responsibility, whose job it is to create this sort of chaotic situation. I would be very hesitant to ascribe any motivations to any of the individuals involved in this, but we do know who Pam Geller is, and she's someone who needs to be put under the microscope, both in terms of legal action and in terms of culturally and politically.
She was referenced by Anders Breivik, the notorious mastermind of the terror attacks in Norway in 2011, which claimed scores of innocent children's lives. She's somebody who's hailed as a hero by somebody like him, which I think really kind of indicates the kind of ideology that she's trying to propagate through her vitriolic speech, hate speech. She's also been responsible for plastering numerous anti-Muslim and anti-Islamic ads on buses all across the United States, from the East Coast to the West Coast. And the messages that she's trying to convey in these ads is just, it's very obvious that she has an agenda, and her agenda is to demonize Islam and vilify Muslim. And Pamela Geller, she is Jewish herself. She claims to be Jewish, but we know that many Jewish groups have also come out and strongly condemned the kind of message that she's trying to propagate through her horrific actions.
Pamela Geller, people have caught your treachery and deceit. You want people to become bigot, racist, discriminatory, and evil like you. You called it freedom of speech, but people are calling your actions what it truly is. Not a fight for freedom, but a political agenda. Racism, bigotry, discriminatory, evil, and anti-Islamist. Period. Pamela Geller, you managed to trap only 2 idiots to prove your evil agenda. But you forgot there are over 5 million Muslims in America. And these kinds of idiots are found in every sect. But the sects are not represented by few idiots, but the sects are represented by the majority. More than 247 million American Christians are not savages or criminals just because few extremist Christians have bombed abortion clinics or have killed doctors who perform abortions. Similarly, 5 million American Muslims are not represented by 2 individuals whose actions are condemned by all American Muslims and by the majority Muslims of the world.
The possibility of violence was well known before this event was staged, and the reason why it was known was because this is precisely what this event was supposed to do. It was supposed to inflame tensions. It's not about free speech. It's not about Charlie Hebdo. It's not about defending the First Amendment or anything like this. It's about inciting hatred against Muslims. It's about creating what can only be described as cultural war against the Muslim community in the United States and around the world. And this American Freedom Defense Initiative, not only are they racists and Islamophobes and hate mongers, but they see their job as to incite hatred within right-wing, conservative Christians who view Islam as a threat to their way of life. People should investigate the money trail of Pam Geller's organization. Who funds the American Freedom Defense Initiative? Who's paying for these events?
Most channels have portrayed you for what you truly are, a clever bigot who organized and fashioned an exhibition, while hoping and expecting and wanting something bad to happen so that you can prove your evil views and demonize Muslims. And you were prepared for it.
Pam Geller has endless comments about how she wants a holy war, right? So I don't like these people. In fact, I outwardly hate these people because they're also hypocrites, because they cry that their religious freedom is taken away if you put a cross of with Jesus on it into a bucket of piss. They say that shouldn't be allowed. So they're hypocrites and they're bad people.
Pamela Geller, you played the victim game, and you played the freedom of speech card. Shame on those 2 ignorant idiots who fell in your trap and couldn't see the evil plot and ended up ruining the image of Muslims and fulfilled your desire. Fortunately, majority Americans are better and wiser than you, and you're 2 genies who fulfilled your wish. These 2 idiots most certainly doesn't represent the Muslims. America and the whole world knows it. And America and the whole world also knows that you, Pamela Geller, doesn't represent Jews, Christians, Americans, or freedom. Pamela Geller, a fighter for the right of bigotry, discrimination, and racism. Please convey this message with your friends, family, neighbors, etc. Otherwise, misconception of such nature will just grow without any solution. And follow us on Facebook, Google+, and on YouTube at youtube.com/user/NCAPCS. You can also watch our videos on apostasy in Islam, Taqiyya, abrogation and contradiction in Quran, history of Islam, and more on our YouTube channel.